the questions, perhaps, and then I'll walk you quickly through the programs that we have, because Ahmed gave me a home task, and he's like, we have the accounting and finance, but obviously, I think nobody is at the moment here interested in accounting and finance, is it? Is everyone present? Yeah, Okay. All right. Let's jump into a different section. The civil engineering. All right. So as Graham already mentioned, it's actually amongst the top 5 in the world, 5% of the world, and there's different reasons for it. Right. One of the reasons, obviously, when you look at engineering, you need to be accredited by some of the known professional bodies that accredit engineering degrees. And of course, at Salford, it's actually accredited by I'm going to read it out because it's actually quite long. By the Institution of Structural Engineers, the Institution of Civil Engineers, and the Institution of Highways and Transportation. And and the list is actually quite long. Anyway, so you have the option of actually doing it 3 years, but 3 years without a placement, right? Or the more recommended version would be 4 years with 1 year placement, right? And
the sandwich. Sandwich.
Sandwich.
It's not with the quizzes. The culture actually will not allow them to do the sandwich.
It's not?
Only 3 years full time.
Okay, how come?
No placement here.
Even if the placement was based in Kuwait?
But the placement would be based then in the UK.
Yeah, but they will not approve the course. If it's sandwich, no. They will not get the financial guarantee for the sandwich course. It should be 3 years full time.
But okay. I'm not going to comment on that because the practical element of any degree is the most important thing, right? Because as a student, when you learn the theories, the application of it is completely different. And that's why you actually need the practical know-how.
It's more important.
Yes, it's more important. And the study also proves that students without any practical element in their studies, are not job ready from day one. So when they join actually a company afterwards, there's a steep learning curve that they actually have to go through. It doesn't really stop over there.
Especially in engineering industry.
So my suggestion, guys, if you're doing, obviously you should go for the 3 year without the sandwich, because otherwise, you will not get the financial guarantee. But if you do have the option, to do the 1 year, even if you pay from your own pocket, it's totally recommendable. Totally recommendable. Because it's a placement that is fixed by Salford, right? And you do get the exposure that is needed, right? Whether in the Kuwait or whether in the UK. I would suggest in the UK because we do work with quite some of the bigger companies, that you can actually bring the best practices to your country afterwards, right? Yeah. So think of it for 3 years, but with the mindset of doing it for 4 years. We have 1 intake per year, so it is September. And if you're interested, this year, then you need to hurry up. And there's no time to be lost, But with the support of Ahmed, I'm sure that things will be smooth. Obviously we can go through the curriculum as well, but I'm not sure how much it tells you, at this stage. Rather I would actually like to give it to you as a homework, to actually really go through each of the components of the curriculum. Because I was a student myself, right? The best students are the ones who actually come with a plan to the university. Because then you can actually focus your time on what do you actually want to achieve. What kind of a network do you actually want to establish? What kind of industry links do you need? What kind of projects would you like to be involved in? So the more research you do and the better prepared you are, the more you will fully utilize your time actually in the UK, right? And remember that studying is not just about the knowledge that you're getting. It's also about the network that you build. I know that you hear it from everywhere, but trust me, the network is something that you should be focusing a lot more on just being an A student. Correct me if I'm mistaken. Brilliant. What else? I think there was a video which makes my life easier. Let me see if I can do that. Any questions at this stage about civil engineering?
There is only one student here for the
For civil engineering.
civil engineering FAD.
Okay, amazing. So you have all the questions. You want me to play the video? How much time do we have left actually?
Okay, I can send the link to them from the website. Yeah.
All right. Any questions related to the civil engineering? Nothing. Everything was self-explanatory. Okay. That is all. We'll send you a few more links and homeworks to do with it. And you mentioned that you have the offer letter that you wanted to change.
Yeah.
So just tell Ahmed whatever is needed, and me and Ahmed will.
He's waiting for the class number. Yes. He's waiting for the class number.
Okay.
No, I want to change my details because
There is a new passport. Okay.
All right. The rest you had,
The law.
The law one. Okay, which law?
The first one, LLB.
Huh?
The first one.
The first one. Okay. Now, obviously, what I do want you guys to remember that I'm representing 430 programs, so I don't know all the details by heart.
Yeah.
So please, by all means, do let me know if you have specific questions that I cannot answer. We will get you the information. The people that are interested in law, have you seen this before? Did you go through the website and so on? So any questions that you had related to, because obviously you scrolled through the curriculums and you scrolled through, the key reasons why you should be studying law. Did you find anything that you found, exciting or something that was unclear? Where are you at the moment?
Everything was okay, but I'd like to ask about how does the system work?
During the assessments and the exams.
The exams and the coursework. Do I need to get past in it?
You need to get used to it, right? 40% is
40% is the minimum on a pass mark. Yeah.
Overall or
Overall, you need 40% in every single mark.
Every single month. I failed on my coursework and then passed my exam.
Where's the ambition, guys?
Anybody here.
Anybody who
because this is the questions that the people who's not here they ask me to ask.
Okay.
Huh?
If you go to the course details, ideally you want to look at passing everything at 40%. So you get your overall degree at the end over 2.2. Yeah, I mean it is between coursework, portfolio, exams, and group study work.
Yeah.
Exams still take a major role in any assessment.
Did we answer your question or not? If you fail one, obviously I think there is the opportunity
to retake.
it. Right?
Yeah.
So it's not, you definitely can retake. And the assessment, is always, it's a mix of things, right? You have, the exams, you have the teamwork, the coursework, and then you have the individual assignments, and then obviously an element of it, especially if you study politics, will be the your engagement in the class, right?
Yeah, and debates.
And the debates that you're going to have, right? And it's always subject to the professor himself how he's going to structure it.
Yeah. Debates.
Exactly.
Could you check the course details for the modules?
Yeah.
Yes.
It talks about the top there, about the different credits you may need.
Any questions related to that?
Just really, the year 2 is quite important because once you pass year 1, if you don't find that law is really where you want to go into, there is the flexible option to sort of merge with one of the other courses or to sort of add a different element to it with the management, professional placement, corporate law, and from that's what really echoes what Salford is really about, which is flexibility.
So you don't have to go to the first year again.
No.
But he's saying that the first year is generic,
Yeah.
right? And after the first year, you can actually embark to any of these ones.
Okay.
it gives you a bit more of a
Flexibility.
specific, and it makes it very flexible.
Is it like a double measure?
No,
that's
the UK doesn't work with majors, and it's an
Yeah.
American system. But this is where you start to really hone down with what you got. Personally, I started my course, even though I went into working for the government. I started off doing farming, in Wales. Sometimes you get round careers, but by the end of my third, I started off doing farming. But when I finished, I decided that I wanted to go more into management. So even though my degree at the start was farming and agriculture, my degree at the finish was environmental management. So I went into more of the management side.
Yeah.
And I think this is what Salford echoes, where you can start with law, but then by the end, if you want your degree, it would actually be law with management, which then gives you a management perspective and gives you links into directorship levels.
It's just the path.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the path that you need to undertake. It's just like when you study business, like the international business or whatever, it's generic, right?
Yeah.
So you want to always specialize into something
Okay.
detailed.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Ahmed? You want to ask a question?
So you just go just a little bit above this.
Just one second. Who was in law? All of
Just
you know,
one.
No.
Two.
Politics.
Politics.
No. You want to do that?
Yeah, it just talks about here about the placements and how much each of the credits are worth. So you build the credits up over the 3 years for your overall final degree. And this is where if you fail the credit, then you have the option to retake and make sure you get all the main credits for your course.
Alrighty. Then, shall we close the chapter for the law and
Yeah.
go to the politics, or anything else related to law?
It's okay.
Give me a minute. All right. So which one are we choosing? Again, Salford is massive. And
The
we
first
have-
two,
Huh?
only,
The first two.
yeah.
Politics and legislation.
Okay. So shall we go quickly through the politics, and then do international relations and politics?
I think it's similar.
It will be for the first year. It goes through that blended approach.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not going to lie to you. This is actually the first time that I'm seeing it myself.
Yeah.
But obviously, in politics, it's a lot. You're not supposed to be, dealing with how do you say? You're not supposed to be in one place. The more exposure you have, internationally, the better it is, right? And then, hence they actually suggest that you have semesters in Europe, USA, Australia, or Canada, because you need to see the different sides. Each country works differently. The politics are different. And politics are very complicated.
Another university or?
Yes.
Yeah. And then one of the benefits of studying not just at Salford but in the UK in general is what's called Erasmus, which is the Erasmus scheme, which is actually you go and study in a different linked university in Europe, which gives you again for 1 semester. And I did it personally. I went to Holland, and it was fantastic. It was great to see the different farming methods in Holland.
Yeah.
But it was a fantastic way. It gave me a lot of exposure, and so made some really great friends. And then that's the part of the course.
Exchange semesters are totally recommended.
Yeah.
I did myself, in Germany and in the US. And like you said, you really need people from all over.
So,
And
in English?
huh?
Yeah. All my courses in Holland were in English.
Okay.
Well, no, my course is in German.
No, it's
German.
during
Yeah.
the term.
It's in German.
So during your 3 years at Salford, your semesters are broken into 3 semesters a year, and one of those semesters you'll have the opportunity to go and study somewhere else.
Yeah.
And it's really great because it gives you a great opportunity to add another university to your portfolio.
If there's one thing that Salford really stands out with is again, the industry engagement. Really, the amount of institutions, government bodies, companies that we work with is insane. And here they mention, for example, Westminster Parliamentary placements and television work placements. but I can tell you for a fact that we also work with the UN, we work with NATO, we work with the British forces,
Yeah.
we work with all the
MI5, MI6,
MI5,
secu-
MI6.
Yeah.
we do a really good module on with security, the terrorism.
So there is links literally, that can lift you up. So being in such a university, and if you have a particular path that you want to go into politics, there's a lot of institutions and some government bodies that are actually currently already working. It does help you to be part of that. Okay?
Okay.
And then obviously you're and you're taught by people that are currently active in the industry. So the academics at Salford, they're not just academics sort of, just teaching them. But they have the experience, but they also, actively engage with the industries. And when I say that we work with UN and NATO, sometimes it's not just the teaching that we provide to them, but there's also consultancy projects. For example, with Abu Dhabi Police at the moment, we're having a big consultancy project on the rehabilitation of juveniles. And the same professor that is sort of establishing or consulting, the government in Abu Dhabi is also teaching the students back at Salford. So he brings quite a lot of relevant information to the classroom. Okay, any questions related to that? Obviously, again, intake once a year. We want to start, it should be in September, and 3 years full time.